That's kind of cool. I mean, then there's also the other freezing, right? Like freezing can just mean stuck, right? Like a home valve can just freeze in place because of calcification or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I suspect this is the it's cold reason, but I have no way to prove that. You could be right.
Yeah, I guess a valve on a rocket ship is not going to have been in service long enough to just seize up. I guess you could call it seized versus frozen. So maybe it is liquid nitrogen that's the problem. Who knows? SpaceX will never say.
Exactly right. Although, SpaceX is the only one out there reusing rockets. So I suppose they do have the potential to have stuff been in service.
Yeah.
But it would have been like 5 times, not 500 like you're thinking.
Okay. All right. I think I have an order for all this stuff. My skills at organizing our random ideas for episodes at the last minute, you guys. And episode 354. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but 354 times. Sometimes you can just see the pieces real quickly. Welcome to We Were Gamers. JJ's here.
Hello.
Michael's here.
Hey, everybody.
And my skills in that department only have leveled up. JJ?
Yes.
Tell me about your leveling up. We're getting right into it. We're going.
I love it.
Both feet.
I also love is this a trope where someone says, thing that I don't want to say with, comma, but... And then it's like opposite of that thing.
I think it is.
It's called being demure.
Okay. You are modest. That is a thing that is known. Sorry. I'm off the track here.
Sometimes.
I assume, we're all getting older out there. So it's time to talk about a thing that's common for all old people.
Reading glasses, random shoulder pains, needing to stretch my hips on the weekends.
No. Wanting warm, comfy shoes. Y'all no? Not
Are you talking
slippers?
about like UGG level things, slippers? What do we gotta break down the shoe category here?
I mean, I live in a place where those don't seem practical to me because it's never that cold here.
Right? However, you do go camping, and sometime we should take you when it is cold, and you'll think, I wish I had some Uggs.
See, I could just not go on that camping trip and stay home and be warm
and put those slippers on.
Go on the camping trips in the spring and the summer.
We didn't.
It is nice.
Did we talk about the trailers on this podcast, JJ?
Don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know if we did or not.
Michael, we went camping, kind of. We stayed in some trailers.
Okay. I would call it glamping, except for what Andrew's about to tell you after this.
It was frigid.
Oh yeah, we talking approaching freezing cold.
39.
39.
Yeah.
And they don't allow fires. There's a little tiny gas fire pit, but gas fires are not that warm. Let's say they're for looks.
Certainly not compared to a bonfire of logs,
or when the fire is being buffeted by winds that are also cold. So let's say, JJ, I had my Uggs on that trip and it was nice.
I'm talking about stuff I want to wear around the house.
Okay, so slippers, house shoes,
slippers. Yeah, house shoes, house slippers.
Can I follow up on before we get too far off of it? Getting old does require shoes. I don't know if you know what. There's a simple plantar fasciitis, guys. The cure for that: stretching and wearing house shoes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a pair of Birkenstocks I sometimes wear around the house when I can feel my feet starting to ache.
Sure. Yep.
So I don't have sandals like that, but I have a pretty well-worn pair of slippers with rubber soles that I wear around the house pretty frequently.
Moccasin style, slip-on style. What are we talking about here?
I would say like something between a moccasin and an A-line. If people know what those are, I only know this because I had to look them up recently
I'm looking
because
now.
these things are
Oh,
falling
okay.
apart,
Yeah,
dude.
sure.
Like it was time to replace.
Sherpa shoe.
Uh,
I think they call those,
the
right?
okay. I could easily show you a picture, but I don't know how to convey this to you in words.
Okay.
There's no seam around the toe, right? It's just the part where it's
Mhm.
sewn to the.
It looks like a capsule.
It's like a dome over the top of
Yeah.
the toe, and
Yep.
then sewn into rubber. Yeah,
I have a shoe like this. Yeah.
yeah. It has a back though, which I like.
Right.
Yeah. These are all well and good. I've been wearing. I've had them for years at this point. I'm sure they were like $20 or something. But the rubber on the bottom now has like cracked completely through and is effectively not useful for the thing that it was useful for, which is like I need to go outside for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like
yeah, you don't
I
want to change your shoe.
Yeah, it's like it's early in the morning. I want to go outside and like get a newspaper or do a thing in the backyard really quick or something.
Could you sound older?
I am old, so
I
yeah,
gotta go
this is what I started it
go
this
out
way.
outside with my
shoes,
tea
get the
and get my
newspaper.
newspaper with my house shoes on. Nice job.
Yeah.
Way to go. Michael and I
This
had the
is-
same exact picture in our heads. I guarantee it. As we said it.
What's your JJ? What's your robe made out of?
There it is.
I don't
knew
have.
it.
I don't
It's
have a-
red and
I
white
don't have a
stripes. I guarantee it.
It would be black and red plaid if I was doing
okay.
this. but I'm
Okay.
not.
I got half the colors right.
Yeah, so I don't have any robes. But yeah, that was it. That's what I use them for, basically, right? It's like walking around the house when it's freezing in the morning, and then to keep your feet nice and comfortable the rest of the day, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Man, there's so damn many of these now. Like, I don't know what I want, you know? And
Yeah.
then like, because the problem like with these ones, right, is the shoe part of the shoe is fine and fits great and does what I need it to do. The problem is that rubber has like completely worn through. And so like, I don't know, like, how do you look for reviews of these things? Like, reviews are just like impossible to look at anymore anyway, right? Because all of like everything is astroturfed. Like 100% of reviews are either like, this is the greatest product or this is the worst product. And you're like, I have no. Is the only honest review of the one person who logs in and puts like a 4 or a 2 stars? I don't know, man.
I am beginning to. I think I've said this a couple times. Stand by the most reviews are the best.
Yeah. So I did end up like buying one that was a moccasin style.
Yeah.
Instead of this style again, because I couldn't find ones that was like this style that were also, comfortable and had the rubber in the way that I wanted. That wasn't just like glued on there, because I know how that will go immediately, right?
Sure.
So, that was my old man gripe. Is like shopping for like house slippers is like way more complicated than I ever expected it to be. Because then there's like, oh, these are fashionable ones. It's like, I don't need to be fashionable. I'm not wearing these out walking. I'm just like in my house, you know?
Yeah, I would debate on my next pair. I think I might go soft sole instead of hard sole on my next pair. Because the soft sole will hold up to walking out to the trash can a couple times a year. You know what I mean? I don't go out for the newspaper in the morning. So I also keep flip-flops by the door.
Yeah. So see, I don't do that. And that's probably like, if I had that, it probably wouldn't. I could do that then, because I wouldn't need to do these outside as much.
We have hardwood floors and stairs, and so I tend to notice my hard-soled shoes, especially like my Birks, make a lot of slap sounds when I walk around.
A shoe with a back though wouldn't be slapping as much, right?
Oh, I mean the plastic and the wood together.
Oh, you just mean the sound of the
clickety clack.
Sole, period. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So I've also been thinking about that. I think I'm leaning moccasin too.
I didn't find ones like this that I like that I thought would last for more than a year, which is I was like, I don't want to just buy like $5 shoes and just have to
Throw
rebuy
'em
them
away.
again in a year and a year and a
Well,
year.
we talk
That's
about that with all sorts of stuff, right? And you bought those expensive boots, those Red Wing boots.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
you're gonna
I love
have those
boots, man.
until your feet don't work anymore, right?
Or until I can't wear them because of crippling foot pain. Not due to these shoes, due to like life and age,
Yeah.
right? The shoes are very comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's as leveling up goes, that starts to be one of the things is like, can I buy something that will last because I can afford to? Not because it's expensive, but because I want something that I don't need to be replacing all the time because it's cheap.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like also, there is a balance on there. It's like you can buy ones that are going to last and are like $80 or $100. And it's like, okay, let's step off the edge of the cliff here.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about house slippers. we can move back down the price scale. We could talk about $30 or $40 here, but we're not talking about $100 for slippers.
Sure.
That's just not the life I live.
I mean, we're talking about shoes, right? I had to buy shoes for my car. We were texting about it, and just the environment for tires currently is so bad that you require doing this same type of research as well. As like, okay, well, what they have in stock is $280, but I don't need $280 tires. But at the same time, like, I want good tires, and you have special requirements
The
for
funny
an
thing
EV.
is,
And
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and like what good means for a tire can mean wildly different things to different people. It's like, I want tires that are good
yeah,
might mean they go fast, or
Sure.
I want tires that are good and just means you can drive them for 500,000 miles, right? And those are
Right.
like different kinds of tires and they cost different things.
Yeah.
But depending on who you're talking to, they might both classify them as good.
Hey, did you know that
Sure.
like because EVs don't have motors, tires now have ratings for how quiet they are?
Yeah, road noise
that makes sense.
is a important thing, because absolutely, and it's actually true on cars with motors too. I think people should remember, like, tires on the ground is a significant portion of the noise you hear in your car, even with a car with a normal engine. Like especially cars, because almost all cars now, a lot of them now do the thing where like if you stop, the engine turns off.
Yeah. Well, so your tires aren't
very
rolling when
common.
you're stopped, though.
Yeah, but then you can hear them though. If you have, like, the road noise is significant, especially once you start going at higher speeds, right? Like the sound, you get newer tires and all of a sudden your car is quieter.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why.
Well, since we're just being full-blown old men, Michael, you need to bring us in with some beer, I guess.
Yeah, let me take a sip of this tasty beverage in front of me first.
Well, good man.
Yes. So I have in front of me, Andy, a beverage that we thought long gone. There is a Valiant tulip glass sitting next to me here.
Uh-huh.
And inside of that glass is a beer that I thought that I was going to have to just pour into the sink, because I had some bottles that had just been hiding in the back of the fridge forever. But I broke open a bottle of Silly Straw Candy Sour.
Oh!
And let me tell you,
Oh,
it is
no.
still delicious.
Really?
It is still delicious.
How is it not turned into jelly?
That's exactly what I expected, is that it would have either turned into jelly or it would be straight vinegar. And it
Huh.
is neither of those things.
Huh. I don't
can't
know
speak
that I
for
would-
the other bottles. We have a few more, but this one's still good.
Where were those?
Just in our fridge.
For context, JJ, Valiant has been out of business for at least 5 years.
I mean, I
think it's
I
longer.
remember going
You
to
remember
Valiant
them,
with
yeah.
you guys. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I didn't go. I didn't know when it closed per se, but I know it's been out for a bit.
I think except for cheap brewed beer in glass bottles, beer lasts a lot longer than people think it does.
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Yeah, it
find.
really does.
Yeah.
I think the characters of it do change. Some of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you drank that the day it was poured versus, now, I wonder, that's obviously impossible to do since it's at least 5 years old or whatever.
But I think what's so surprising about these is that they're sours, which generally don't age as well as beers that are made to be aged, like stouts.
Yeah, or like, is it just that the people are into aging stouts and no one talks about aging sours? I don't know.
Well, there are
Maybe
stouts that
maybe
are
all the
sour.
sugar in that beer is counteracting whatever the bad stuff that would normally happen, and they're just
Could be.
There are stouts that are sour, so it's not impossible.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely characteristics of stouts that are more easy to pick out because, like, a lot of the aged stouts are high bourbon barrel content, and that just mellows over time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot easier to pick up a note like that versus a sour that is like, ooh, this is tart. Ooh, it's still tart.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, it went from a level 1 tartness to a level 2.
Or from a level 2 to a level 1, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I don't know which way it goes, right?
I don't know. I think we're making it up as we go. Well, they didn't have any beer at the Ducks game, or did they? They did. We didn't have any beer at the Ducks game.
I had a beer.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
my
you did
first
at the
drink was a beer.
Oh, that's right. Due to Passover and personal restrictions amongst the group, we did not have much beer at the Ducks game. But Michael, what did we get at the? Well, we didn't get anything. No, that's not true.
Might have been the only section.
I got 50% off of a hat that I then actually went and bought. Did I send you a picture?
You did not.
So the hat must have been like reasonably or normally priced then, right?
The hat was priced normally. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was going to set the stage. So JJ, I won last week. I won Ducks tickets through my work.
Oh, sweet.
They raffle off Angels tickets and Ducks tickets pretty frequently throughout the respective seasons. And it was day of, and they just happened to pull my name out of the hat. So we got a couple people together, went to the game. It's club level seats with like VIP parking and food vouchers.
That's nice.
So
stuff.
Unbeknownst to us, I don't think we knew it walking in. It was fan appreciation night.
Good night to go.
Yeah, so they're just giving away all kinds of stuff. So when we walk in, they're handing us scratchers for
Duck scratchers, not just like California lottery scratchers.
Duck scratchers.
Win the lotto at the Ducks game, baby.
I wouldn't have put it past them. Wait for the rest of the story.
I was gonna say nobody wins that big at Ducks games.
Remember that they showed a lady on the Jumbotron that did not win the 50-50. She had a receipt like the size of her arm for as much 50-50 as she bought, and it just like doubled over in her chair when she didn't win.
Yeah.
Oof. Don't try to play odds, kids.
Nope, they don't work in your favor.
Andy's scratcher was for 50% off a hat from the merch shop.
And you know me and hats, especially fitted hats, which are common in the sports arena.
True.
And I have a Ducks hat, but I wanted a different Ducks hat. So I ended up buying the... You continue telling the story. I'll send it to the group. But it was a Ducks hat with like the California flag on it.
Yeah. So, throughout the game, whenever there are breaks in the action, they come on the Jumbotron and they're giving stuff away where, they draw a section, they draw a row, they draw a seat number, and they have a prize for people, a gift card to a restaurant. Except this particular night, it felt like there was a fire sale going on. They had thrown open the doors to the prize cabinet and it was everything must go.
Or did they find stuff in the back of a cabinet or a unused elevator underneath a stairwell in the office?
Like last year's design for everything.
Ripping the old Keurigs off the walls.
They were giving away, it was some stuff as simple as like backpacks and skateboards, all the way up to they gave away a 65-inch TV.
They gave away bigger stuff than that. They gave away a car.
Oh yeah, a brand new CRV hybrid.
All right, that's serious money.
Yeah. So they were just throwing prizes out left and right.
Yeah.
It felt, we were joking. It felt like there was a logo change coming that they haven't told anybody about, and they're just trying to get rid of all the old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, it was like, can we unload all this? Although, so I didn't buy my hat at the game because I didn't want to catch COVID with the 9 million people that were in the store. So I waited for another opportunity because the coupon was good till later date or whatever. And when I went back, there was still a surprising amount of available merchandise in the store. So I don't know.
All right.
I sent the
They got a
picture
lot
to
of it
the
somewhere.
I sent the picture to the group chat, the Facebook group chat. It's the one on the left where the Ducks logo has the California hat inside of it. I decided on that one because I don't have
I like that.
I don't have a black fitted hat. I realized.
Gotcha.
And the other one looked a little funky on my head, the 8-bit logo that they have. So I was like, nah. I mean, at a certain point, JJ, during this game, they literally, like, in every stoppage were just like hurrying to say more prizes because they were clearly running out of time. It was like, and all 8 of you win like a year's supply of ice cream, and all 6 of you all get a prize pack to Osh or whatever. It was like
They were giving prizes to whole sections.
They walked up to a row and they just started like handing stuff out. It was the most. I couldn't tell if it was desperate or just like, we've got so much stuff because the attendance was so low. Monster Energy had like a good 10 minutes of just branded gear they were giving away. It was crazy. Yeah. Weird. And then Michael tried to win a pizza.
Yeah. Well, I did get the link for the pizza after the fact.
Did you win a pizza or no?
Yeah, I did. I should.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even though it expires.
Yes. They tried their best not to give him his pizza, but that's okay.
Give Michael his pizza, you sport franchise cowards.
Well, since you've seen so one of these hats was a retro 8-bit hat, right? And I've been in kind of a retro mood lately, because, well, a few months ago now, I was in Las Vegas. You guys, a city where many things come to rest, I think, both physically and metaphorically. And it seems to be a hub for the last great market for used games and old games and retro stuff. And so there's a store out there that I'm going to free advertising for, not paid, me telling you my experience. There's a store out there. They have 2 locations called Retro City Games. Have you ever heard of this place?
Nope.
Yes.
You look them up on Instagram. You can see them post every day, like crazy good stuff they're getting in. Like, I think yesterday it was like, here's an entire table of Pokemon games that came in yesterday. Enjoy. Come by the store. They don't have any online sales. And most of the time, they're like buying stuff to buy it, and then they put it back outside for, like, hey, we're going to do another sidewalk sale. $5, whatever you want. Anything outside. Not only that, but they also get in all sorts of cool old consoles, weird statues, like exclusive game, like, oh, this was the bonus for buying this game. You'll find old computer CD games still in stock in their boxes.
This is only possible in places where land is cheap, but there are a lot of people somehow.
Yes. Like I said, Las Vegas seems to be a place where many things come to rest, and this might be part of the reason. It was really a fun experience from a nostalgia point of view because it's set up like a blockbuster. And so you walk in and you feel like you're all of a sudden back at like a block, not even like a GameStop, like back when you could rent games from Blockbuster. That style of rental situation is like the wire shelves and everything else the store has, and the glass cases along the sides with the things in it that, you know, are worth anything. Full stocks of like, oh, here's almost every Genesis game still in its box. And you walk up to the front and you're like, I didn't see Landstalker. Did you have that? Oh, we had it yesterday. Those come in pretty often though, if you want to check back like next week. That kind of stuff. Pretty amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these pictures on their account, and this is pretty awesome stuff.
Pictures is like, dang man, this is like every game on the Wii maybe ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these pictures are wild.
Some of the pictures are crazy. And when I was there, it was like these prices are at worst in line with buying stuff off eBay, and at best much better. So I was impressed. Nice. I was impressed by them, and it got me into kind of like a retro mood and everything else. And we were cleaning out a garage recently, and in the garage we found some old consoles from when some members of our family were kids, and in that pile was a DS Lite. And I got so excited because we went on this Retro City Games thing. I controlled myself. I only bought 2 Game Boy games. I bought Jungle Strike and what was the other one? F-15 Screaming Eagle or whatever it was, the Strike Eagle game.
Okay.
Just because they looked cool, and you got to go with what's in stock. There's like not a ton of stuff, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money. We were just there to see it. We were on our way to somewhere else, and the kids had a great time looking at it. But this DS cropped up while we were going through old stuff in a garage, and it was like nobody really wanted to keep it that had owned it, and I said, oh, I'll take it. I've been in a super retro mood. And handhelds, I think we talked about focus recently, about trying to focus your energy. If you're collecting, but collect small. If you're just in general, I think narrowing your focus is more beneficial to things in general. And I noticed over the last couple of years, when I was broader focused on just being a collector instead of what I was collecting, I stopped enjoying collecting, and it became like a chore and upsetting because blah 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 released. Oh, they released variants of this, and now I have to go buy them. Oh, they released another random toy in that line, and now I gotta go buy it. And so when this DS came into my hands, I want to thank both of you guys for helping me work through my issues on this show, because I got so excited to hold some beat up old DS that was like, this fits into the small niche of Nintendo handhelds that I want to just have the consoles of. I'm not even working on like collecting the games or anything like that. Like, I know that's impossible. I know that's not financially viable, so I'm not going to do it. But like the idea of like, I want to collect and have a few of those Nintendo handhelds to display, and here is one that I don't have,
Did you have a DS Lite?
I did have a DS Lite. Did you guys have one?
No.
I did not either.
Oh, really? So I had a Game Boy. I kept the Game Boy. I got an Advance, and then the DS came out, and I didn't buy it. And then the DS Lite came out, and I was like, I need one of those. I sold my Advance, and I bought a DS Lite because I had the Advance port on the bottom and the DS port on the top. And then the 3DS, I think I sold the Lite to buy a 3DS because I didn't have any more advanced games. I had given them away.
You know what? I am wrong. I think the DS Lite is the one I had. You're right, because I remember having the advanced port on the bottom.
On the bottom, yeah. And I didn't have any advanced games anymore for some reason. I think I gave them to somebody or sold them. I can't remember. I didn't have very many advanced games. I only had like 5. So it was easy to let go of it when I wanted a 3DS. Now I'm not sad, but I remember mine was red and black. Yeah.
Good color scheme.
Yeah, it's good color. I want to encourage everyone as you listen to us over the last X years going through whatever mental gymnastics to try and better ourselves as we get older and all that sort of thing. I can't really describe the amount of like pure joy I was getting looking at this thing. And then to find it didn't quite work was actually not frustrating. You know, it became like this is now my little pet project and I'm excited to take it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to get it up and running again.
Yeah, I'm going to make this
You have
work
found
again.
a hobby.
It's like reinvigorating the idea of like collector was a hobby. It's like maybe collector isn't a hobby. Maybe, you know, person who enjoys these tiny thing is a hobby.
Although I will hope for your sake that it does not involve you having to do like soldering or something, hopefully.
Why can't I get into soldering, JJ?
Oh, look, you can. I just how deep you want to go, man? Like,
well, if we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about this particular DS Lite. I think I'm at that stage because I put a new battery in it thinking, okay, maybe the battery's just so dead that it won't pass through the power. And the new battery, it started right up. So that means that most of the fuses are okay, probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you put the battery in and it works, then probably it's confined to either the charging cable or the thing that plugs in, right?
Right. So the charging cable, I bought a new one and that didn't work either. So it sounds to me like the charge port is damaged, although it could be technically, I think, one fuse that it might be. But to me, that means charging port, right? And so that's a solder job, unfortunately.
You could try cleaning the contacts on that charge port if you have get a cotton swab and some alcohol or something.
Yeah.
And just like, or a toothbrush. I don't know how big the charging port is on this thing. Given that it's a DS, it's probably tiny.
It's very small, and it has like a block in the middle of it to hide and protect, maybe, I guess, the pins that are in there. I got a cotton swab in there. I got a cotton swab in there, and it didn't seem to do much.
Some like isopropyl alcohol or something would help too, just in case there's grime on them or something. But yeah, I don't know how you would get leverage on those things.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to scrub them a little if you could, but man,
I don't know. So the next step is to take it apart and see if it's obvious internally that it's been cracked off the board or something like that, you know. And then the decision comes from: does it just a display piece at this point that I don't put work into, or is it a learn how to solder again situation?
Fun.
But yeah, that's kind of like exciting to be in, and I wanted to like pass along, like it's cool to go to those places, because once you have kicked yourself of the bad habit of like everything needs to be mine, and you get down to like the important things are cool to have, walking into one of those places is just fun, you know, instead of anxiety inducing. Oh, well, now that I
would
seem to have
visit one of these places if I
you absolutely should go if you're in Vegas, and that's free advertising because I loved it. But JJ, you interrupted my transition. Now that I've found my path, how is yours going?
Nice. Yeah. I have been pathfinding in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I feel like I talked about this a little bit last episode, right?
You did. Yes. You described Wrath of the Righteous. We talked about how it was a D&D system because we had already actually talked about Pathfinder when the D&D news broke.
Right. So this is based on their
second major game, I think.
Yes, but I still think this is using the like original Pathfinder rules, not the new rules they wrote after that D&D thing. So anyway. Yeah, I played a whole bunch of this since the last podcast, and this game had, I guess, similar to the other Pathfinder game, which is called Pathfinder Kingmaker. It has like a second game within it somewhere. That one sort of had like a kingdom management game. This one just like straight up has like Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Love it.
Okay.
In that, like, the game is like, it's a big CRPG type game. you wander around on maps and you fight monsters or whatever. You have your party of 6 people that you can move around the map. And time passes as you walk from place to place and so on. But in
Is
this
time
game,
passing if you're not walking, or is time only passing if you're changing areas and stuff like that?
yeah, it does pass on the screens. So if you rest for 9 hours and that ticks over the next day, there's a calendar and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I haven't encountered many things that have like hard time limits. I know there are like some quests and stuff that will fail if you take quote too long, but it's not exactly clear to me what too long is. I haven't
Sure.
had any trouble completing any of those things. That's all I can say. But the in the story of this game, at some point you become the commander of a big army, and you are leading a crusade to take back this area of the land that's been overrun with demons, basically. And the way that like army management stuff plays out is you get little units that you can move around on the map, and then there's a whole bunch of like enemy demon armies sitting around on the map. And when your units run into their units, a new screen pops up and you get the big square, like Heroes of Might and Magic 3. You have your general on their side, theirs on yours on your side. Your troops line up in a row, and then you take turns going back and forth and stabbing each other. Your guy has like 60 pikemen and he has like 30 imps or whatever, and then you got to shoot him with archers and cast spells and the whole thing. Like I said, it's a whole game inside the game. I was like shocked, honestly.
Huh.
Did you guys ever play those Heroes of Might and Magic games? Those were like
3
big.
Might and Magic 3. Here's a Might and Magic 3, I think. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember which one.
I feel like did they have arcade versions of those?
I'm gonna go with no. These
Okay,
were like turn-based computer games.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying
Because
to.
I do remember them. I'm just trying to remember from where.
Pretty sure it's 3. Looking at this box art, I'm pretty sure I played 3 with the like
It's like a big lion
octagonal movements,
like hexes, maybe.
hexagon movement, square things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty sure this is the one. I don't remember it well, I will be honest.
I have deep nostalgia for this series. I played so many hours of Heroes of Might and Magic 2 when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then like a bunch of hours of 3, and even later into the series in like 4, and then not really 5 at all. And I played a little bit of 6 and was like, oh god, they've ruined the series, and then they haven't made any more.
Nah.
So you knew
it's
it
owned by
before
Ubi.
them, huh?
It's owned by Ubisoft now.
They made a
you can
7th
kinda
one
imagine
in
what happened in 6.
2015.
Oh, they
buddy.
did. That
Sounds
not
like you're
promising.
gonna have to try it.
Yeah, that's not what that means.
Well, I was gonna say, is it a sign that they haven't made another one since then, and it's been how many years?
Yeah.
Series over, huh?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll check it out. But they weren't like hugely popular once they kind of moved into the modern era. They were like completely turn-based games. There apparently was like a pretty sizable PvP scene for them in like Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
That
era,
makes a lot of sense
and
to me.
Still is. Because they're turn-based, there's nothing stopping you from playing with like a ton of people, over a LAN or whatever.
And asynchronously too.
I think
you
these
could
games
always,
supported play by email at some point, right?
Yes,
Like,
that
sure.
I
Yeah.
do remember. That's what I was gonna say. Asynchronously, you could play this game.
Yep. Load it up, take your turn, email it to turn off, and like then the next person, play
Yep.
games like that. Yeah, very random to find this other game tucked away inside. And then you have like a whole management system of like, well, I want to hire troops, but that takes my money points down. And then, you don't have enough money points to then build your buildings. And if you come under attack, you want to have fortifications and
You
all
got
this
to
kind of
learn
stuff.
how to micro and macro, buddy.
yeah. It being turn-based really helps with the micro part. I'll say.
I think
Really helpful.
I think one of those things though is like people focus too much on armies, right? In games where like building armies is actually more important.
Yeah, it definitely can be the case where like if you build, although I will say one of the weird things about this was true in like Heroes 2 and 3, as well as it seems to be true at least in this game, in Pathfinder as well, that if you have like 1,000 lowest level troops, they are going to annihilate so many
Anything, right?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like whatever happens, you cannot get hit by that group of 1,000, right? If they have like 1,000 peasants or like whatever the worst unit on their side is, do whatever you have to do to keep that thing away from your people until you've whittled it down to like a manageable number, right? So if you have a balanced army that can do a lot of things, that group of 1,000 hits one of your guys, they're just going to die immediately, unless you also have 1,000 of something, right?
Yeah.
And even then, they'll like kill half of it, and now you're like 500 versus 1,000, right?
The problem when horde tactics beat out tactics, right?
Right. So, there's also, like our spells, right? So you could cast like lightning bolt on them and kill 700 of them, maybe, depending on how powerful your wizard stats are or whatever. Yeah, and then there's a give and take to all that too, right? You spend all your mana blowing up all these units, again, it's turn-based, so you can only cast one spell a turn. But then, the big army comes in from the north and attacks you, and oh no, I have no mana left, right?
Right.
So I just completely derailed my progress in that game. I was like running around and happily.
Well, I'm doing
quests
this
and
now.
stuff, and I was like, yeah, guess I'm gonna fight these demon armies out here and like take over this whole land now. It's like, oh, at some point, like your road forward gets, you're progressing into this land, and your road forward gets blocked at some point, right? Like your army can't progress forward. It's like, no, okay, gotta switch back to these other guys. I guess I'm gonna go play the game part of the game now. Fine.
Yeah. Nice.
I like it.
There's another game within a game we've all been trying to work on now.
I thought you were going to say something about our path splitting into 8.
Whoa. Okay. All right. This guy wants to do transitions, big man. All right. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I was going to say arenas are a game inside of the main game of COTC.
Yeah, we've got a new arena coming this week, supposedly.
Wow.
Good Lord.
More
And it is
rubies.
supposed to be.
I just heard free rubies. Thank you.
Well, considering it's supposed to be one of the worst ones and has the lowest clear rate of all the arenas in JP, yeah, it's going to be free rubies from preliminaries, and thank you very much.
Let me tell you about how excitement can turn to ash in your mouth, you guys.
Glory, you taste the glory, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
sadness.
I
Pain.
cleared that uni in 5 turns. I felt like I was king of the world. I was so excited that I was going to get all my farming done tonight on uni. No problem. Going to get that accessory and move on with my life.
That's a lot of farming, dude. Dang.
It's
Although I guess
14.
you're clear. Your clear was very quick.
Not
so.
all
my
the
clear-
farming, you mean just to get the accessory.
14 clears is all you need.
Yeah.
You know, 13
Okay.
clears. 13 clears is all you need to get the accessory, and you can walk away if you don't want to get guide stones. You can just walk away. You know.
Is the accessory even that good?
Hers is
Some of
decent.
them are.
Hers is decent. Hers is I don't have it up in front of me, but I remember it lowers your SB cost by like 30%,
Hey, that's significant.
and ups
Yeah,
her
it's pretty
damage by 10%, I think. It's just sort of a flat, easy accessory that you're like, I understand how this
Good.
works, and it makes her better.
All good stuff, right?
Yeah. So 5 turns, bam, done. Go back, do the refight the next time, make one little mistake, able to pull it out, bam, done. Do 2 more. Weird. I had weird bad RNG on this one and everybody got paralyzed. That's fine. Oh well, do it again. Bam, done. I've done the fight 9 times now and I've only cleared it 5 times because the RNG in that uni fight is actually pretty high.
Yeah, it is.
So here's the thing that I'll tell you that is going to make you sad, Andrew. The way to make it consistent
Uh-huh.
is a taunt.
Oh, but I want to do damage and finish it fast.
You know who has a taunt ultimate that does damage? Lionel.
Lionel. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't have that guy. I'm using Lars in place.
Lars is good. I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm using him too.
It sure makes a lot of sense that the team that I based my team on and then tweaked had a Lionel in it, and he used that Guardian slash thing that makes him taunt.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
whatever the ult of his is does a taunt, and that taunt means that Lionel always gets hit with that paralyze, which is great because then you just swap him to the back and someone else comes in and does the damage, and everything.
Sure
is great.
seems like my
finish
clear
him
would be much more consistent if I didn't have randomly Fior taunted when she needs to do a ultimate, or a Fior paralyzed when she needs to do an ultimate.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
I don't know who else has taunts. I don't know how many other sword people have taunts.
Not many sword people. I think Ulbrich has a defend, but not a taunt. Like you could use him to jump in front and take a hit.
Yes, you can.
And he can even do it from the back row, actually.
Good damage, right?
Yeah, maybe he could go in for Lars. I shall investigate.
Lars, dude. Lars has like good damage. I wouldn't swap him. Or
2B. I mean, who do you pull from this? Right, here's the stack: 2B, Lars, Fior, Kurin, A2. I don't think you can pull anyone from there.
Yeah. Okay. I guess Corin and Lars are the two that you can play around with there. I guess.
Yeah. Corin could go.
And like, you're not going to swap in like, like Tressa or Gilderoy.
No, then you're not in
like
a 5-turn.
That's like
right.
Wasteful. Yeah.
Yeah. You start losing turns there, and then that's another problem where you're not fast enough to get around the ads.
Yeah, because the big problem is if you take more than like 5 or 6 turns to someone's like a second set of ads who are way stronger, and then that becomes very annoying.
Yeah, turn 7, the second the 2 ads show up, turn 7. So if you mess up, you have 1 extra turn to try and fix it. That's about it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a wipe. Start over.
Yep. Well, I'm excited to hear that we're gonna get more rubies because I think I'm gonna pull on the Bravely Default, depending on how it looks. If they add in like some sort of step up or something, I'm definitely going to do it. I kind of want to get Idea for my team just so I have it.
Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be a regular step up. There is going to be a paid step up.
Are they going to combine the 2 banners?
That is a good question, and I have not seen a definitive answer.
Oh, gotcha. Well, we'll see. It's 2 weeks away, right?
Find out next week. I think it's next week.
Oh, it's next week. Oh, because we get a new banner this Wednesday, and then it'll be next Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Didn't they do a triangle strategy collab in JP? Are we getting that?
They did. So they've actually done 4 collabs now in JP, and all of them have been rerun at least twice, except for the newest one. So they did Bravely Default and Nier, which we've gotten, and then they also did Triangle Strategy, and then the newest one was Live Alive.
Oh, Live Alive? That's cool. Live Alive? Yeah.
Live Alive.
Live Live.
I guess we'll find out because they'll probably say the name.
Oh yeah, they probably will
in the thing if they ever do it, right?
Yeah, they should. As a question, did they run Bravely more than 2 times?
Bravely might have gotten a 3rd run. But I think if it did, it's the only one.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, I'm still having a great time playing that game, despite my uni frustrations. I don't know about you guys. I know, JJ, it's a background game for you.
I'm surprised you weren't. Yeah, but I'm playing it every now and then. I'm getting stuff done. I'm surprised you weren't going to complain about that boss fight, man. It sounded like you had the worst possible time.
Speaking
I've ever
of bad RNG, status effects.
Yeah. Charm, dude. I don't understand. I went in there with a suboptimal team. I get that, but like, I didn't look at the weaknesses ahead. I was just sort of changing my A team up as I went based on the weaknesses I was finding in the levels. And I was like, it's probably going to be something like this. And I had some ice and some lightning and some other stuff. So I had enough to do it. I had enough damage output. I had enough good armor to get through it. And so I just sort of kept retrying the second part of the fight by quitting. But like I could see how you could get around the charm by being faster, maybe I was too slow because it wasn't a perfect team. But like, I can't believe neither of you saw your whole team's charm like I did.
Yeah,
They even had
super never happened.
I mean, they had a prompt for it. It said at the top, she's in a state of bliss because my entire team is charmed.
Yeah. Charm
like-
is just, in any game that it's implemented, charm is an awful status effect.
I don't mind it,
You
but
are
why
telling
can't
me,
I?
brother?
Why couldn't I remove it? That's the thing that bothered me.
Yeah, like an unfortunate part about Octopath, or this system anyway in this game, is that there's no like item bag. There's no like, some characters have abilities that allow you to remove things, but definitely none of them work on charm. And so it's like, I can't like, I can't like pull the like elixirs or the like rarely used cure all items out of the bag to like fix this one-off problem, right? Which would be the solution in like most RPG type games.
Well, no,
Yeah.
the real JPG solution for this problem is to have your healer come up and whack a character because you can self attack, right? Like whack your own character. Like in older,
Sure,
in older,
yeah, that's how like
go
Final
that route.
Fantasy solved it.
oh
yeah,
the
for sure.
Final Fantasy. Oh, I can just hit my own character and break him out of charm.
Yeah, the Pathfinder doesn't solve it that way. That doesn't help. You just killed your character.
Oops. I think you have to think of it in this fight, Andy. I think you have to think of it like the bosses that lay down like an SP drain. It's
Yeah.
their gimmick more than it is a status effect that you can remove with an action.
Oh, because charm is just not out there in the world other than a boss fights.
I have not seen it anywhere other than that fight.
I've seen paralyze in other fights, but I guess not much. I don't know. I don't see status effects outside of boss fights very much. Poison, I guess, a lot.
Let me tell you some of the
Poison
status
and
effects
bleed,
that Yunny
bleed too.
Bleed and
Let
poison.
me tell you some of
Definitely.
those status effects that Yunny does are super useful. Go ahead and use those on all kinds of
Yeah.
enemies. It's pretty
I'm gonna-
nice.
I really want to try and finish those. We have 2 more weeks on those towers. I want to try and at least get one more level out of the hunter now that I have uni.
Yes, you with a little bit of luck, you can probably get through EX4 on the tower.
Did you
what
try
were your-
EX5?
what were your other hunters? I did not.
5-star hunters.
Sure, let's start there.
Scarecrow and Zonta.
Okay, so you have even more than tools than I did now that you have Yunny.
Yeah.
So I have Scarecrow, Zonta, and Honnet now. And I
And
guess Yunny.
Yunny.
But that's not. Look, man, that's not going to happen on 5. Like 5
No.
requires like extremely dedicated like teams. Like it's effectively like an arena boss, like or more probably. Like the stuff I've
Yeah.
seen clears on the internet of people doing it. It's like here's this exact team. Everyone is level 100. Everyone has like the best stuff that we can find, and you're like just trying to survive basically.
Huh. Why'd they make it so hard?
Because it's supposed to be future content.
I see. Okay. You're not
Like,
supposed to beat it
we
right
have
now.
we have one more weapon series coming up with the next big update, and then the next big series of the story gets us a significant power creep in terms of weapons, which is the major growth in this game.
Power creep on
'cause
weapons. Yeah, because at a certain point you cap your characters, right? I mean, unless
You cap
the
your characters.
new characters are power
there,
creep.
there is a future mechanic coming that breaks the damage cap on that front.
Breaks the damage cap of 99999.
Yep. Lets
Well,
you start
well,
doing
well.
6-digit damage.
Well.
You can look up some JP videos of like maximum damage. It's pretty impressive.
So it's one of these things where like these towers are semi-permanent in that they're gonna always be coming around. It sounds like, right?
Yes.
And so eventually that EX5 will not be such a big deal, and your damage break limit characters and whatever weapons you get with over 9,000 or damage or whatever they have on them are just going to like not trivialize it, but certainly make it to the point where like, look, this team of 4 stars with these weapons are just going to roll.
Yeah, I wonder if the thing you get for beating it at that point is then useful at all, right? Because that's one of the problems I've noticed. Not a problem, but one of the design decisions they've made is sometimes the thing you get is actually much more useful if you can get it when it's hard to get versus like when it's easy. You're kind of like, okay, you know.
Yeah. So in this case, like with the, I think that accessory will always be helpful because it's it's a flat 30% damage up, which you could
that's
always
true.
use.
It's just damage up. So you max out a character's
30%.
damage up. Yeah.
Right. 30% is the cap, right? So basically equipping that to one of their accessory slots lets you use the other one for resists, defense, crit, speed, whatever other thing you need to do to min-max your team to the point that, or stack it with some other kind of weird stacking buff, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or you get to the point in the fight where you can swap out a character that was behind them as a backpack with someone who's more useful.
Yeah, you don't need to bring old Barad around to give you plus 30% whatever anymore.
What's wrong
Switch
with
him out for something
Barad?
good. He's the backpack man. Wingate
It is.
2.
It is interesting to have so many backpack characters, right?
I mean, I appreciate that they do that though, because me, who is lazy and like, playing it like here and there, does not have these sweet accessories that they show off in these videos.
I
And
don't
so they're
either.
like,
Yeah, I don't know where they even
30
get some of them. You think it's 4-star awakenings?
Some of
I
them-
think some of them definitely are.
Yeah, some of them are like, A4 kind of stuff.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
For instance, I have one of them that I see showing up all the time because I A4 to Elvis. And he gives you an item, right? And it's
How
like,
did you
hey, I see this
A4
one being
Elvis
used all the time.
already? What in the heck?
Spent all my heroite on it, dude. I didn't
I
spend
don't
heroite
have
on anything
nearly
else.
that much heroite. No way.
What?
I probably could have done it at this point, but I've been slowly breaking his levels.
Yeah,
Oh.
so his levels are like crazy low for me.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, they're in the 82 or something range, but
Gotcha.
But you get an item, and that item can be equipped on anyone.
Yeah,
and it's
I have
good.
Sophia's A4 accessory, and it's pretty dang good. It's like immediate ice down to everybody opposite you, plus a whole bunch of E attack.
That sounds pretty good on Cyrus, is what I just heard.
It sounds pretty good on anything weak to ice. Like if we ever get another arena that's like, hey, bring ice damage.
Oh, is there an arena coming this week for you?
Oh, is it ice damage?
That is one of the 3 weaknesses for this week's arena boss. Yes.
Well.
How the turntables.
And on that note, I think we need people to tell us if they have finally broken down and gotten COTC, or more importantly, give us some 3DS stories. Tell us about the nostalgia or DS Lite. I mentioned the DS Lite this week. Tell us about your DS Lite. What color was it? Where would they do that?
I think folks who want to do that can send that to podcast@weweregamers.com. Podcast@weweregamers.com. Email address. Send it out there.
Oh.
Like, we're on social media. We Were Gamers on all those places. Check us out. All one word. And what's the YouTube, Michael?
That would be youtube.com/@weweregamers.
Don't forget to file your taxes.
Yeah, another old person thing to do. And then go buy yourself some house slippers.
Or maybe you should do your taxes in your house slippers.
Double yes.